Morning, guys. I am waiting to head out and milk. I need to let the Homestead dog out, but as you guys might be able to see, or not because it's so bright out there, it's pouring rain. There's actually supposed to be a break in the rain here very shortly, so I'm kind of waiting for that to happen so I can let him out and then go out and milk. So we wait. Weather. It's duck weather. Here they come. Birds are coming. My birds, they follow me. As you guys can see out in the field, there is no snow left. There's literally, you guys can see over in the tree line over there, there's just a little line where it's kind of tucked in behind the tree. Other than that, it's all melted. It poured last night. Sorry, it's windy. And I think from last night until tonight, we're supposed to get something like 2 inches of rain. You can see some of the birds have been out in it and they look a little bit wet. They've got a dry coop to go in, but I'd like to be outside too, especially when it's so nice out. So you probably can't hear me because the ducks are so loud. Noisy ducks. Anyway, I'm gonna go milk. Well, while I'm waiting for a lull in the rain, I wanted to show you, it is messy in here. It is muddy, messy. There's only so much I can do, especially when it's frozen. Most of it freezes before I can shovel it out of here. I hope you guys can hear me with all these chickens in the rain. Anyway, I'm thinking about pouring a cement pad right here. Hey, I'm trying to do a vlog here. They don't care. They just have no manners. Thinking about pouring a cement pad here. Cement pad here before I milk. They're ridiculous. See what I guys have to work with? Do you see this? So for those of you who have watched the channel for a while, this is going to be old hat. But for those of you who are newer, that right there is the northwest corner of our property. And it is the highest point in our property. From there, everything slopes to the east and slightly to the south. So you guys can see along the driveway here maybe. See how wet it is right there? I need a better way for that to drain. But everything along the whole side here drains right down the driveway. You can see right here, it starts to form up into a river. And then it goes right down the side there. So if I can stay somewhat out of the rain here, I can show you. I'm gonna get over here. Get a little bit wet here. So, right along here, everything drains this way, right down that way. And then it drains off that direction. And then right up there is a drainage swale. The field across the street to the east all drains into a drainage swale that then comes onto our property and drains down into the marsh in the back of the property. So if it wasn't raining, I'd take you over to the drainage swale and show you how I'm sure it's just rushing right now, whereas most of the time there's very little water in it. I'd love to dig a pond over there at some point to hold the water, to have some plants grow, to maybe have some bass, but that's not in the budget right now. Well, today is not a gimbal day. You can hear all that? That's why. It's been raining all day. We're in a little lull right now, but it might start raining any second, so I'm not going to bring the gimbal back out. But you can see the rain just washes right down here, through there, and I'm going to take you guys down and show you the drainage swale. So let's go show you. Well, it might be just starting to rain again. You can see how wet this is. So the garden area tends to shed water better, if you guys can tell, but like this is where I tried planting grapevines and it hasn't worked so well yet. But this just kind of sheets the water off down that way. Right here, it kind of pools up, but the actual garden space tends to shed water pretty well. Then there's the orchard right here. So we'll see how the trees overwintered. There's a row of trees here, and there, and there, and there. and another couple trees on the other side. Apples and pears and cherries, and I don't think there's any peaches here. I think the peaches are other places. So you can see how wet it is. It even gets wetter right here. Should grow like rice or something down here. Don't you need a lot of water for rice? Oh, look, here comes Prudy. She's excited to see what we're doing. Hi, Prudence. Don't go through the fence, please. I don't have it turned on. Okay, so here's the drainage swale. You guys aren't gonna be able to hear me. Hold on. Okay, the wind died down just a little bit. So across the street there's a field, and it drains this way. So the drainage swale comes in right over there, loops around here, down this way, and you guys can see the water's got a pretty good current to it. And in the summer, when we don't get a whole lot of rain, there's hardly anything in there. I mean, it's almost dry. You could, walk in it. I wouldn't probably put the tractor in it, but it's pretty dry. You can see, you're gonna get it on top of your boots, kid. Yeah, so he's trying to get his feet wet and get my boots filled with water, which I'm not real thrilled about. So get out of there, please. So this drains down this way and over there. Let me show you over there. Okay, so now we're getting over by the tree line. You can see the water's kind of backing up a little bit. Well, this is where the water drops down and goes into the woods here. If you listen, you can hear a waterfall. So as it drops down, this is where the property starts to drop down pretty significantly. So this area right here is a waterfall. Got a little waterfall here and then a little one there, and then it continues to go on down that way until it gets into the marsh. And I'm not gonna head back in the marsh right now, but the marsh is back there. Maybe I'll, you know what? I'll walk you over to the top of the hills here so you can see the marsh. Before we get to the top of the hill down here, you can see the culvert. My neighbor gave me that, and I need to put it in. What I want to do is take it and lay it right here this way, so that the water coming from there to here, and then I can pour dirt over top of it, so that when it's rainy like this, I can drive the golf cart over, or I can drive the tractor over and not have to worry about it. Right now, I wouldn't even think about doing it. I'd have to come in from the street side over there. So this is like almost dead center of the property right now, maybe a little bit further south than dead center, but this is where the tree line starts. This is where we head back into the woods. You can see we've got a hunting blind up there that I accidentally nicked the ladder with the tractor bucket. So if we're gonna use that again, I've got to fix it. But yeah, here, let me show you. Also, you can see a little stream right here that comes from this side, because it kind of V's a little bit here. So this is draining into that same thing that I showed you before. So where I just showed you is right there. The marsh is right here behind us. So this is where you can get a good view of the marsh. I cut this whole trail out so that we could have a place to walk through and stuff. And yeah, there's the marsh. Pretty full right now and getting more full by the minute. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the hill. I'll show you one more little waterfall. Okay, so right here is where that stream comes through the property. And like I said, in the summer, this is dry. It might get like a little bit wet, but I don't have any problem driving the tractor through here. But right now, obviously, that would not be the case. So we were up there when I showed you before. Comes down through here. You can see there's probably, I don't know, 12, 15 feet of vertical drop. And then maybe just a couple more feet as it goes through there into the marsh. We're almost on the same level as the marsh, maybe another 4 or 5 feet. So before we start getting rained on, I'm gonna head back up. I just thought you guys might think that was interesting. Just for a little bit of perspective, that's the woods. The drainage swale is right there. House right there. Garden, we walked right down through there between the pasture and the garden. Orchard. And then when my parents first bought this property, I thought there was a chance that they might split it down the middle and we'd have half and they'd have half. So when my dad and I first planted trees the first year, we planted this stand of trees right here because we figured, well, we might put a house right here and a house right over there, and that would kind of be like a vision block, so there'd be a little bit of privacy. Anyway, there's also, because there's no more room in the orchard proper for orchard trees, I started planting trees here. It's mostly apples, there's a pecan and an almond, I think. So my kids will be able to enjoy pecan and almond, because I don't think they're going to start producing before, well, maybe they will. But anyway, I'm heading back up. You can see Prudence is, she's concerned with what we're doing. She was following us down there. So last year I didn't garden this area at all. This just sat, because with the baby I knew I wouldn't get down here. This year, hopefully we'll be able to do some more. There is right in this, I don't know if you guys can see the wooden stakes, like there's one right there. So from there to here is actually a strawberry patch that I've just continued to add to. And I don't know how well they overwintered. I haven't done a great job with stuff like that, so we'll see. I'll probably cut down all the grasses this year and then try to put some stuff around the mulch. I've also planted some raspberries along the fence line here, but those have kind of been hit or miss as well. I need to, so the fence is up, but that just keeps out people, really. The deer, I've never seen deer in the garden, but I've got chicken wire that I need to put around the bottom to try to keep the rabbits and stuff out. But anyway, I'm heading inside. How do you know you're a vlogger? I was just changing this little lady right here, and I gave her my phone to keep her happy, and she held the phone out like this, and she started talking. She said, hi, hi. I think she knows what Daddy does with the phone. Do you know what Daddy does? Do you know what Daddy does? Hey guys, so we drove an hour and 20 minutes for our game. Homestead Boy 1 actually played in the game previous to him for like 2 minutes, and then it is so humid that the floor was actually sweating, and no matter the amount we tried to dry it off and stuff, it just wasn't safe. Kids were slipping around, and one kid actually hurt his groin. So we canceled the game, which is a bummer, but you got to keep the kids safe. So they canceled that game. We waited around for a little bit to see if it would, putting some fans on it would help, but it didn't. So drove an hour and 20 minutes one way for a game that we didn't play, which is a bummer. It has been pouring rain. It's raining right now. It's not raining hard, but it's raining. We drove through pouring rain the entire time on the way home. There's flood watches and everything. So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow when we get up. Our property, it doesn't drain well, but it doesn't drain horribly. We don't, get flooding. Like I said, I showed you guys earlier where it drains away. So I think it's supposed to stop raining tomorrow, which would be nice. Give it a chance to try to dry out a little bit, but it's supposed to get cooler. Today it was in the upper 50s all day long. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the low 40s. So it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.